Mhm. We live. Yes, we are.
Okay. Is it a hump or a drop? What do you say? You've got to twist your words in every which way, because the model will always dictate what you do. Everybody knows that you've got the model affliction blues. Is it a straight line, or does it curve? Some people don't clamp it, but that is absurd. We all know that the model dictates what you do. And everybody knows that you've got the model affliction blues. Model affliction, it's your addiction. Model affliction, it brings you so much pain. It's your ball and chain. Conflating curvature with elevation change. Just got your local distance just out of range. That old key is gonna dictate everything that you do. And everybody knows that you've got the model affliction blues. Model affliction, it's your addiction. Model affliction, it brings you so much pain, and it's your ball and chain. It's your decision defending the model position. You just don't know the geometric proposition. That old ball will always be illogical to you. That's why perpendicularity is a puzzle to you. Model affliction, it's your addiction. That old model affliction, it brings you so much pain. It's your ball and chain. And everybody knows that you've got the model affliction blues. Works really good with this guitar. Is it a hump or a drop. What do you say? You got to twist your words in every which way. We all know that the model dictates what you do. Well, we know you got it, the model affliction blues. Model affliction. Model affliction. Model affliction. Well, we know you got it, the model affliction blues.
And we are live. Welcome everybody. It is Monday, so Model Affliction Monday. Told everybody, just because it's Model Affliction Monday doesn't mean we can go round bashing people's models. People hold their models very dear to them. We shouldn't just go round smashing people's models to pieces. Very fragile things, people's models. And when I say fragile, I mean of the mind. They don't actually exist. And when you start messing about with people's, breaking down things in people's minds, there's serious consequences that come from that. So, if you feel that your model's getting threatened or anything, just walk away. This is a comedy thing for entertainment. There's no need to feel threatened or anything. We're just some people having a chat about stuff, going over things. We can still have some fun. But, yeah, I feel some people are struggling. And we don't want people to struggle much more than they already might be doing. Because we're in some really strange times at the minute. There's some fragile minds out there. And I think we will be getting into logic and all of that. But I personally think logic is a way to keep your mind together. Stop you from going crazy. Other people may think differently. It's up to everyone. So, that said, it is Model Affliction Monday. Now, the model seems to be able to afflict the mind of people in a way, and any sort of model will do this. If you've built up a model on, it doesn't matter whatever, and you've continued to build other things upon that model, so you've got a massive structure built on it, it better be right, the model that you've built it on, because if it's not, you've built it on shaky foundations. And when somebody makes you question that model, if you've built a lot of stuff upon it and you are forced to question it, then sometimes it can be a little bit too much. And if you feel like that, turn around and walk away. It's not worth it. Nobody's bothered about it that much. Oh. Anybody else here talk about this? Just 1 minute. Sorry, knock at the door. Yeah, where was I? Yeah, oh yeah. This is it's no big deal to me. I don't have a model. I would say for you to deal with all of this stuff, you're better off not having a model, because then you have no model there to feel threatened by. In saying that, we have had some strange things occurring. I don't know if anybody heard the thing at the beginning, the video from just before. We had a guy called Jesse Gordon came in last on Friday. Yeah, we had a guy come in on Friday, and I clipped a short bit, and that shows the confusion that they've had. I mean, he's literally just been in again to tell us he thinks we should look to see whether horizontal is actually straight or not, because I'm guessing his model is in a picture somewhere. Somebody's told him that the horizon cannot be horizontal for some reason. I don't know why. I'm guessing a model. But to my understanding, like I keep saying to people, to my understanding, mathematics states that horizontal is parallel to the plane of the horizon, which means the horizon is horizontal, it being parallel to horizontal, because all horizontals are parallel, as in mathematics. So there's a very simple way to know, is like go with what mathematics says. It's very simple. I think most people would understand that horizontal is definitely a straight line, plane, because it's parallel to the plane of the horizon, which means horizontal is a plane also. And we also have I think we have a different meaning of perpendicular and a different meaning of parallel. We've had some terrific pictures. I mean, we go back up here. This one. This is a guy called Wazinski. Nobody knows who they are. There's a load of people that come in like this. Some random person, but I think he's well, I don't know. He said all pairs of lines, approximately parallel pairs of lines, and parallel pairs of lines. I don't know whether he means the circles or whether he's doing some sort of a Venn diagram of where parallel lines and lines. I don't understand. Very strange.
Yes, this is illicit minor. This is what Baby accused us for in blues stream, but this was incorrect. But now we have example of correct applied illicit minor, which is of course fallacy in logic. He illicitly included parallel lines into a collection of approximately parallel lines, which are not. Approximately parallel lines are not parallel lines, so this inclusion is fallacy.
Yeah. The law of identity.
Yes, that's
parallel
why
lines are
it
either
is
parallel or not parallel. There is no middle term.
Yes, so it makes it illicit minor, because this is illicit action to do that.
I'm looking for Wally and his latest parallel lines. He posted it over at Blues. Yeah, here we go. This is number 2 of the wolf pack, Wally. Where's Wally? And this is over at Blue Marble Sciences channel. This is. And Wally says, look at all the parallel lines. Set A and set B. He thinks all of these lines are parallel. But these ones here aren't even parallel. It just doesn't look even parallel. But then he thinks these are also parallel. Well, he has both of those as being parallel. Now, this is why I'm saying we have to be careful. Somebody's built a model upon these facts, that can have these lines here being parallel and these lines here being parallel and not see the contradiction between the two. Well, I don't know how funny it is. I'd say it's not very funny. Unless, like, Wally is just trolling. I mean, he could just be seriously trolling and they could all be laughing away. Look at that stuff that Wally's putting in there. But, I mean, if he isn't, somebody should be having a word with him.
He was definitely trolling them, the people at Blue Marble Sciences server earlier today.
Yeah.
With a picture he posted before yours. That was mine. He made into a Trojan horse. He had to, he said. He knew he had to make it into a Trojan horse for it to even be considered posted over there.
Yeah.
So he did. He made a Trojan horse and posted it at their server.
Yeah, there's some strange things that we've had to do. Now, there is this from Blue Marble Science. This came from Blue Marble Science, and he's put it over there in his Bicker and Bitch channel, because they have special channels for bickering and bitching. And Blue says, this is Blue's little piece of bickering and bitching. He says, if I were ashamed of what I am, I think I would stop being that thing. This hills and valleys argument that Bev makes is totally childish. I'm not aware of a hills and valleys argument. I want him to answer my questions, though. Is mean sea level flat? I'll maybe answer that later. We know it's level. It's in the name, for fuck's sake. But is it flat? Blue answers, yes or no. Are elevations above mean sea level parallel to sea level at every point? Yes or no? Can I begin at a benchmark at sea level and determine elevations above mean sea level inland using differential levelling techniques? Yes or no? If I do those things for the Hanford LIGP installation, will I be able to find elevations above mean sea level anywhere on that site to an accuracy of 0.01 inches? Yes or no? Are the LIGO elevations accurate? And if not, why not? If they are, why aren't the elevations forming a straight line? That should be easy for a guy with a surveying certificate. So once again, Blue is acknowledging the fact that I do have a land surveying certificate. And I was thinking about maybe I should make it a requirement that if I want to talk to anybody, at least they have a really basic, some sort of qualification in surveying. Like I do, a really basic one. With his actual certificate, and then you'll be able to have a chat. So, if I don't know if Blue's listening, Blue, I'll go over this because obviously you want some questions answered. So we know I want him to answer my questions though. Is mean sea level flat? Start with that one. Mean. It's an average. And it's on a vertical datum. So it's an average of things on a vertical datum. So what they do is they add them all up and then they divide them by however many they did over whatever period they did. And they come up with a mean. Now, a mean sea level is on a vertical datum. So it is just a mean point on a vertical datum. So
average
points, yeah, it's a mathematical average point on the vertical datum. So no, Blue, it has no shape. It's just a point. We know it's level. It's just a point. It's an average of the levels over time. It's a point, Blue, mathematical. It's in the name, for fuck's sake. Well, the mean should be the mathematical bit that gives it away. But is it flat? No. No, Blue. No, it's not flat. It's a point. Are elevations above mean sea level parallel to sea level at every point? Yes or no? Elevations are on the vertical datum. They are points also, and points cannot be parallel to anything. So, no, points are not parallel with the sea level, because he says as well, are elevations above mean sea level parallel to sea level? Well, the sea level goes up and down. We had to make a mean at the beginning. So obviously, it's a nonsensical question, Blue. You should have formed that one a little bit better. Next one. Can I begin at a benchmark at sea level and determine elevations above mean sea level inland using differential leveling techniques? Yes or no? Yes, that's how elevations are measured, using differential leveling techniques, particularly for elevations. That's what they do. And then if I do those things for the Hanford Ligapip installation, will I be able to find elevations above mean sea level anywhere on that site to an accuracy of 0.01 feet? Well, I say you'd be able to get a benchmark from somewhere and transfer it over, and if you're accurate enough, yeah, I think you'd be able to do that. Find the elevations over there at LIGO, yeah, I would do. I don't know whether they'd allow you to, but yeah, I think you should, theoretically. Are the LIGO elevations accurate? And if not, why not? I don't know. I've never been there to check it. I couldn't say. If they are, why aren't the I don't know. Why aren't they forming a straight line? They are a straight line though, so the elevations should be a straight line. If they are a straight line, then the elevation should show a straight line. That should be easy for a guy with a surveying certificate. Yeah, it's only a basic surveying certificate, but I mean, only basic answers, right? I don't know what you were hoping for. So yeah, thanks, Blue, for some questions. Anybody else want to leave any questions for Bev? Chuck them over there in Blue Marble Science's Bicker and Bitch channel, and we'll see what we can do.
I would have one explanation, because he asked why they are curved, why these elevation profiles are curved. So the answer is because underneath these curved elevations, we have straight level. And in FE dogma description, these levels were curved. So if the curved level is straightened, therefore horizontal line should be curved. That's why we have curved elevation profiles. This is my answer for that. For
I'd
this
say
conundrum.
we have curved elevation profiles because science it out drew a curved elevation profile. Blue Marble Science, he's drawn a curved elevation profile. Ruhif, he's drawn a curved elevation profile. Of LIGO, the straightest thing has a curve. These are all the curves. Who else has drawn a curved elevation profile for? Ruhif, Blue, FE Dogma. I don't think FE Dogma did a curved elevation profile, did he?
Maybe, but on this drawing which we were dealing with, the horizontal line is straight and level line is curved. So
yeah,
if you straighten...
they've drawn it though. Right? It's just Ruhif, Blue and FE Dogma and people like that. They science it out. They're the only ones that have drawn it. That's why we have curved elevation profiles, because certain people have drawn them and they are curved, even though it is a straight thing. I mean, it's ridiculous to even consider it, but that's the reason we have them, is because the globe Earth defenders have drawn them as curved.
Yes, but they drawn them as curved because they have to straighten a previously curved level, which is curved on FE dogma drawing. So to keep that in respect, or how to speak it, to keep ratio, they had to curve this. In fact, they curved horizontal line. What was in FE dogma drawing as described as horizontal line, they had to curve it because they straightened.
No, they didn't. They had they still
level,
kept the axis. They kept the axis straight. The X and Y was still straight. They just drew a curved elevation profile.
Yes, but these X and Y are straight and they should be curved because
they are straight because they are straight. They shouldn't be anything else other than anything else.
Yes, but these X and Y's should be within their model, should be curved because they are showing level.
I wouldn't say that. If they're not willing to say it, I don't think you should be willing to say it for them. We best get a representative in from the globe to make sure that that's what they're actually saying, because that sounds ridiculous. They can't possibly be saying they want to curve the x-axis. That's preposterous.
It is. It sounds like too much preposterous, but I think that's the case. They are so silly, unfortunately.
Well, I don't want to get hung up on LIGO or anything like that, because we're building up to Bedford. Our Bedford, home of the level trip. I did actually go out last night as well. I went out to the beach We took some pictures. We got a nice picture of a boat going away. And a sunset. It was a nice one. I might see if we can get that a clip for you later. Bit of Buster music. I have that's that one. I'll give you guys this. Right, so considering it's Model Affliction Monday, and I've had some suspicions for quite a while about certain things within this arena. Well, let me get this. Oh, main screen's on. Oh, what's going on? There you go. Oh, it took a while. Right, so this is we're going over Bedford level, and this is Samuel Rowbotham. Best place to start. Guy himself. And I don't know what how this all works out. But Samuel Burley Rowbotham, was an English inventor, writer, and utopian socialist who wrote Statistic Astronomy. Earth is not a globe, under the pseudonym Parallax. His work was originally published as a 16-page pamphlet, 1849, and later expanded into a book, 1865. Rowbotham's method, which he called Statistic Astronomy, models the Earth, big E, as a flat disk centered at the North Pole, bounded along its perimeter by a wall of ice. That's Rowbotham. I don't have that. Definitely not. I haven't. That's ridiculous, that. What a stupid model. Flat disk.
And if you click at that flat disk, it was shown not flat disk. This was spherical, ancient spherical model, so-called maybe some Greek model, because they thought that the fumes of the inferno is going up and pushes Earth back. So they thought that this Earth was spherical in the middle, because these fumes pushed up the Earth. So it created spherical. So this is not flat.
Yeah. It says, with the sun, moon, planets and stars moving only several thousand miles above the surface of the Earth. So, I mean, he has a model. I definitely don't have this model. Not me. I'm not part of this dude here. I can look at it, though. Rowbotham started out an organiser of an Owenite community at Menhir in the Fens. Owenite, I thought this was quite interesting, right? Go to the Owenism. Owenism is the utopian socialist philosophy of 19th century social reformer Robert Owen and his followers and successors, who are known as Owenites. Owenism aimed for radical reform of society and is considered a forerunner of the cooperative movement. The Owenite movement undertook several experiments in the establishment of utopian communities organized according to communitarian and cooperative principles. So that was Rowbotham.
He was communist, literally speaking.
Well, in the UK, the Fens, where he formulated his ideas about the Earth after measuring a lack of curvature on the long, straight drainage ditches of the Bedford levels. In his first Bedford level experiment, he was convinced of the flatness of the Earth and began to lecture on the topic. Right, so here we go. This is the Bedford level experiment. This is where we go, and that's pretty much the view down the canal. The Bedford level experiment is a series of observations carried out along a 6-mile length of the Bedford River. It's a series of observations carried out at Bedford level in the Cambridge Fens, the Unicorn, during the 19th and early 20th centuries to measure the curvature of the Earth. Straight, he said earlier. Samuel Burley Rowbotham, who conducted the first observations starting in 1838, claimed that he had proven the Earth to be flat. He didn't notice the dips at the side of it or anything. However, in 1870, after adjusting Rowbotham's method to avoid the effects of atmospheric refraction, Alfred Russel Wallace found a curvature consistent with a spherical Earth.
After the adjustment.
Yeah, he made an adjustment to the method, he said. He said after after adjusting Rowbotham's method to avoid the effects of atmospheric refraction. Now, to avoid the effects.
So he got rid of atmosphere.
Well, I think you might be surprised. Don't be jumping to any conclusions just yet, because there are things in this that turn it upside down. Let's say, right. So the Bedford level, at the point chosen for all the experiments. The river is a slow-flowing drainage canal running at an uninterrupted straight line for a 6-mile, 9.7 kilometre stretch to the northeast of the village of Welney. This makes it an ideal location to directly measure the curvature of the Earth, as Rowbotham wrote in Zetetic Astronomy. You're already being played. But we'll carry on. If, let's see, this sounds like a logical statement coming here. If the Earth is a globe, spherical object, and is 25,000 English statute miles in circumference, the surface of all standing water must have a certain degree of convexity. If the Earth is a spherical object, the surface of liquid water at rest must curve. Sounds pretty familiar, doesn't it?
It does sound oddly familiar.
If the Earth is a globe and is 25,000 English statute miles in circumference, the surface of all standing water must have a certain degree of convexity. Every part must be an arc of a circle. I think mine's a little bit simpler, but I mean, hey, this is where we're going with it. From the summit of any such arc, there will exist a curvature or declination of 8 inches in the first statute mile. In the second mile, the fall will be 32 inches. In the third mile, 72 inches or 6 feet, as shown in the following diagram. Here it is. See that? Everybody see that? That diagram there? 72 inches. Look at that angle there. I mean, that doesn't look like it's 72 inches, does it? Look at it. Okay. After the first few miles, the curvature would be so great that no difficulty could exist in detecting either its actual existence or its proportion. In the county of Cambridge, there is an artificial river or canal called the Old Bedford. It is upwards of 20 miles in length and passes in a straight line through that part of the fens called the Bedford Level. The water is nearly stationary, often completely so, and throughout its entire length has no interruption from locks or water gates of any kind, so that it is in every respect well adapted for ascertaining whether any or what amount of convexity really exists. In Wikipedia. Wiki. So, experiments. It's the water level, right? Yeah, everybody with us? Just a water level. Now, the first experiment at this site was conducted by Rowbotham in the summer of 1838. He waded into the river and used a telescope held 8 inches, 20 centimetres above the water to watch a boat with a flag on its mast 3 feet above the water row slowly away from him. I'll get some pictures. I mean, I don't know whether I could do... I should have set the screens up a little bit better, really. But I do have... We've got this footage. If anybody wants to... I'll get it out once we've gone over this so we can show this. I don't know anybody else that has any footage of 8 inches above Bedford like Rowbotham did here. So he reported that the vessel remained consistently in his view for the full 6 miles to Welney Bridge, whereas had the water surface been curved with the accepted circumference of a spherical earth, the top of the mast should have been about 11 feet below his line of sight. Now, Rowbotham didn't do that.
Why?
I don't think. Because you can't see that. 8 inches above the water over that sort of distance. Stuff disappears. There's a miraging area that occurs. And it occurs all the time whenever you look at anything over a long distance, wherever you're close to the water. Like we say, we've got the footage of it. But
he used telescope, so he could see, allegedly.
So he said he was stood in the middle of Bedford, in the middle of the thing, telling people that he could see it. Let me get a picture for you. Oh no, wait a minute, it's in here, isn't it? This is looking down with a camera. Once it processes. Oh, pretty big files. Now, can you see that? That picture there in the chat.
I can see that.
Can you see the mirroring in it?
Of course.
Right, well, that's what Rowbotham would have been looking at.
Is that 6 miles down to the end there, or
Well,
what kind
the
of
6
distance do you have
miles
there?
is down there, but as you can see, you can't see. Like I will get the video out in a bit and let you see what happens to the guy on the boat as he goes down there. He just disappears.
Yeah, and I think not to be too much of a spoiler, but I think you said that guy was nowhere near 6 miles away from you.
Yeah. Well, that
Not
little,
even close.
the post on the right hand side there, I think that's either 2 or 3 miles, and you can see how much of that tripod thing is being mirrored in the thing already there at that distance.
But even if it is mirrored, it is still visible. It has to be visible because otherwise you could not see mirroring on the part which is above water and part which is mirrored in the water. So it should be visible, I think.
Or you need to watch the video paper.
Yeah. Yeah, say like you've only got Rowbotham's word for it when you go to the this. It's like Rowbotham was the guy in the thing in the water, 8 inches above the water. So that's a great set of waders, like up to his neck. And he's just sat there with a telescope looking. Like, can you still see it, right, Samuel? Oh, yes. Oh, yes. By Jove. It's flat, I tell you. Get him to wave the flag. Is he waving it? He says he is. Yes, I can see him. Rubbish. You've got nobody's word for it anyway. And it is only Rowbotham. I mean, Rowbotham repeated this experiment several times over the years, but his claims received little attention. So he was doing it over quite a few years. And then in 1870, a supporter by the name of John Hampden offered a wager that he could show by repeating Rowbotham's experiment that the Earth was flat. So Rowbotham's been there just doing his thing, keeping to himself, and then along comes John Hampden and he says, I'm going to have a wager with you because of what he said. And the naturalist and qualified surveyor Alfred Russel Wallace accepted the wager. Wallace, the virtue of his surveyor's training and knowledge of physics, avoided the errors of the preceding experiments and won the bet. The crucial steps were, right, well, he says he's a surveyor. The water level's horizontal, as far as I know. I don't know why anybody claiming to be a surveyor would say that the water level wasn't horizontal. Sounds like a bit of a setup to me, just to get people to believe this sort of stuff actually happened, and it doesn't. It's all a play. The crucial steps were, right now, listen to this. This is very important, especially for Rumpus, if Rumpus is listening. To set a sight, this is crucial steps to avoid Rowbotham's mistakes. Crucial steps. To set a sight line 13 feet, 4 meters above the water, and thereby reduce the effects of atmospheric refraction. To add a pole in the middle that could be used to see the bump.
Or hump.
Hey, they don't like to use the term hump, do they? But bump. Yeah, I mean, I quite like hump. I'm going to stick with hump. Bump doesn't sound right. Sounds like a woman's got pregnant. Oh, I see, you've got a bump. It's like a vertical, I'd call that. So hump is the horizontal one. Caused by the curvature of the Earth between the two end points. Ooh, see? The bump in the middle. This is a surveyor, this is Wallace. Alfred Russell Wallace he accepted the wager by virtue of his surveyor's training and knowledge of physics. Because, I mean, everybody knows that physics, you'd see a bump in the water in front of you. Right? Right? Physics? He's what? Who are you in the wise ways of physics and surveying? Ah, yes, I'm just looking for the bump. I shall win this wager.
You peasant.
Despite Hampton initially refusing to accept the demonstration, Wallace... Despite Hampton initially refusing to accept the demonstration. Does this not sound a bit familiar? Wasn't somebody coming round here on Friday talking about some lights? And we refused to accept it. Look, there's some lights. One in the middle. Look, he's done a drawing. Done a drawing and everything. Look, accept it.
Has to be real.
Despite Hampton initially refusing to accept the demonstration, Wallace was awarded the bet by the referee. John Henry Walsh, editor of the Field Sports magazine. Hampton subsequently published a pamphlet alleging that Wallace had cheated and sued for his money. Several protracted court cases ensued, with the result that Hampton was imprisoned for threatening to kill Wallace and for libel. Libel. Imagine that. People writing stuff down about somebody.
Kind of sounds familiar today with certain things, huh?
Well, this is why you should never go into a betting situation. Because the betting situation relies on the referees. And the referees can hand the bet to somebody else. I mean, hey, several protracted court cases ensued with the result of imprisoned. Yeah. The same court ruled that the wager had been invalid because Hampton retracted the bet and required that Wallace return the money to Hampton. Wallace, who had been unaware of Rowbotham's earlier experiments, was criticised by his peers for his injudicious involvement in a bet to decide the most fundamental and established of scientific facts. In 1901, Henry Yule Oldham, a reader in geography at King's College, Cambridge, reproduced Wallace's results using 3 poles fixed at equal height above the water level. When viewed through a theodolite, the middle pole was found to be almost 3 feet higher than the poles at each end.
There's your hump.
The middle one. The middle one's higher than the one at the other end. It's not looking good for Rumpus, sorry. Sorry, Rumpus. Everybody else, as I said, it was brave for Rumpus to go for the nutsack job. The full one. The big one. It was brave. But these guys have gone for the hump. Rumpus is going for the drop. Higher.
How do you reconcile that?
Higher than the poles at each end. This version of the experiment was taught in schools in England until photographs of the Earth from space became available. School teachings. See, Rumpus, if you'd have been taught back in the old days, they'd have told you, you're looking for the hump. The bump hump. Not the drop. I mean, it's very, very brave. Very brave indeed. This version of the experiment was taught in schools. The hump experiment was taught in schools in England until photographs of Earth from space became available. And it remains in the syllabus for the Indian Certificate of Secondary Education for 2023. The hump.
No freaking way.
No, well, yes way. I mean, understandable for the Indian surveying community, right? This to be one of the qualifications, one of the things that you do in school. Still there, the hump. The hump of the Bedford level. Water level.
You listening, Blue? Rumpus.
And then we carry on again. Advocates of a flat earth, however, were not deterred. On the 11th of May, 1904, Lady Elizabeth Ann Blount, who would go on to be an influential in the formation of the Flat Earth Society, hired a commercial photographer to use a telephoto lens camera to take a picture from Welney of a large white sheet she had placed the bottom edge near the surface of the river, at Rowbotham's original position 6 miles away. The photographer, Igor Clifton from Dalimeyer's studio, mounted his camera 2 feet above the water at Welney and was surprised to be able to obtain a picture of the target, which he believes should have been invisible to him. Given the low mounting point of the camera, Lady Blount published the pictures far and wide. These controversy became a regular feature in the English Mechanic magazine in 1904 to 1905, which published Blount's photo and reported 2 experiments in 1905 that showed the opposite results. One of these, by Clement Stratton on the Ashby Canal, showed a dip on the sight line only above the surface. So I don't know, it doesn't really say that is. Look at that picture of the Bedford. Picture of the Bedford level carried out in misty and very unsatisfactory weather on May the 11th, 1904, before Lady Blount and several scientific gentlemen. I think we could definitely be scientific gentlemen when we go there to do that. But I mean, yeah, look at it. It even looks like you've got a reflection there, isn't it?
Do you need a top hat?
I think so. I think it would be required to be a scientific gentleman.
Yeah.
Right, now, this is where we get into the refraction. Atmospheric refraction can produce the results noted by Rowbotham and Blount. Because, see, it can. So Rowbotham could have been telling the truth, right? Not a lying scumbag, but he could have been like, can produce the results noted by Rowbotham and Blount because of the density of the air in the Earth's atmosphere decreases with height above the Earth's surface. All light rays travelling nearly horizontally bend downward. All light rays travelling nearly horizontally bend downward, so that the line of sight is a curve. This phenomenon is routinely accounted for in levelling and celestial navigation. I'll read that again. This phenomenon is routinely accounted for in levelling and celestial navigation.
Interesting.
All light rays travelling nearly horizontally bend downwards, so that the line of sight is a curve. Okay, so now we know that. If the measurement is close enough to the surface, this downward curve may match the mean curvature of the Earth's surface. In this case, the two effects of assumed curvature and refraction would cancel each other out, and the Earth will then appear flat in optical experiments. Take that on board. Let's just try and put our mind at the place where they want us to put your mind. If the measurement is close enough to the surface, okay, let's go close to the surface. We can take measurements there. What do they mean, close to the surface? What's close? Depends how far away you're looking. I mean, what are you talking about? Are you talking about getting your eye to the surface, or... It's very vague, but if the measurement is close enough to the surface, this, because you're always measuring from the surface. Do they mean a meter? Do they mean 10 centimeters? Who knows? In this case, it says this downward curve may match the mean curvature of the Earth's surface.
May or may not.
What's the mean curvature of the Earth's surface? I mean, like, what if it's just straight? What's the mean of that would be none.
This is classical disclaimer.
Yeah. So the downwards curve may match the mean curvature of the Earth's surface, the mean, average. So it's not even... It's not even a curve, is it? If you have an average, you don't have an average curve. It's a straight line, that average, surely.
You would have to have an average picture.
Yeah. Yeah, but you can't have an average to a curve. It's not curved. It's straight, isn't it? An average.
Of course.
Yeah. So mathematically, that doesn't really make any sense. The two effects of assumed curvature and refraction could cancel each other out. Could. We're all for exactness of coulds. And so this curvature of down and the curvature of light down would cancel each other out. And the Earth will then appear flat in optical. So two curves down make a straight.
Yes, that's
great.
That's the case.
That's good. Yeah. As long as we're all on board with this logical system that we're going with, right? If the measurement's close enough to the surface, pretty vague, then it could, if you want to say that it matched the same. So, like, you could say if there was no curvature, and the sight line matched that, then it could also appear flat, because it is.
It means that if you see no curvature, it means that this is curvature.
Yeah. And if you don't see any curvature, then it means that it's likely an optical thing that's hiding the actual curvature.
Yes, this refraction is hiding. Yeah. So really it is curved, but you cannot see because of refraction.
Yeah.
So if you can see straight, it means that we have curvature.
Right. So it says,
genius proof.
Yeah. It says this would have been aided on each occasion by a temperature inversion in the atmosphere, with temperature increasing with altitude above the canal, similar to the phenomena of the superior mirage. A superior image. Temperature inversions like this are common. An increase in air temperature or lapse rate of 1 degree Celsius meter would create an illusion of a flat canal. Another one, like all of these things that would create an increase in air temperature or lapse rate of 0.11 degrees Celsius per meter of altitude would create an illusion of a flat canal, and all optical measurements made near ground level would be consistent with a completely flat surface.
Unbelievable.
Hmm?
Wordsmithing.
Yeah. If the lapse rate were higher than this, temperature increasing with a greater rate, all optical observations would be consistent with a concave surface, a bowl-shaped Earth. Under average conditions, optical measurements are consistent with a spherical Earth, approximately 15% less curved than in reality. What? I'll say that again. Under average conditions, you know, average, optical measurements are consistent with a spherical Earth, approximately 15% less curved than in reality.
What?
This is in Wikipedia, right? It's wrote down. Under average conditions, optical measurements are consistent with a spherical Earth, approximately 15% less curved than in reality.
Gibberish. 100% gibberish. What's average conditions? First of all, what is that?
And 15% less curved than in reality.
Yeah.
Like what?
And by the way, they are talking about terrestrial refraction, which doesn't exist at all.
Complete and utter nonsense.
Repetition of the atmospheric conditions required for each of the many observations is not unlikely, and warm days over still water can produce favourable conditions. Favourable for what?
For model, of course.
For not viewing the curve that should be there.
It says similar experiments conducted elsewhere. I don't class this as an experiment. This is just a test. It's an observation. That's it. That's not an experiment. This at all.
Yes,
that's another fallacy.
Observation.
Yeah.
Yes.
On the 25th of July, 1896, Ulysses Grant Moreau, a newspaper editor, conducted a similar experiment on the old Illinois Drainage Canal Summit in Illinois. Unlike Rowbotham, he was seeking to demonstrate that the surface of the Earth was curved. I don't know why they're doing this, just leveling it. Like, why can they not just work out whether level is fucking straight or curved? When he too found that his target marker, 18 inches above the water level and 5 miles distant, was clearly visible, he concluded that the Earth's surface was concavely curved, in line with the expectations of his sponsors, the Korshan University Society. The findings were dismissed by critics as the result of atmospheric refraction.
Imagine, in line with the sponsors' expectations.
Yeah, concavity is like it goes up. He could just see. He could see his target 5 miles away at 18 inches. He shouldn't be able to do it. So they said, that's concave. And they said, yeah, that's stupid. You can't have that. Convex, concave, doesn't really matter. No, we'll just dismiss it. So, yeah. Seems like whenever you do anything like this, if you try and prove the Earth shape with it, it ends miserably. I mean, like, you can't prove the Earth shape unless you have a baseline to start what you're using. You need to establish a straight line first to see whether you can actually establish a straight line. That should be test number 1. which a lot of people have said to us.
But they say that you cannot establish straight line because it would be a line of sight because this line of sight is curved. So at that point we are stuck.
Yeah, no, it does say, doesn't it? Like in here, it said about the line of sight is curved. So you can obviously not trust the line of sight. There's too many indiscrepancies with it. That's why we never went to the line of sight. Line of sight's ridiculous. I mean, especially when you start drawing pictures like this, talking about humps. I mean, where's the drop? What's horizontal? What's, you know, at least that one is horizontal. But I mean, there's a picture of the Bedford Canal.
Rumpus is really in for it. He doesn't know.
I don't know whether that boat's still there or not.
That's a good one there that you took, yeah.
No, that's not mine. That's off Wikipedia.
Oh, I thought you meant the one last night.
Oh yeah. Oh. Right, yeah. Right, so that's the Bedford. Let me have a chat amongst yourselves, and I'll try and find some Bedford footage.
But what they input in this text, the conclusion for the reader would be that the only expert was Wallace here, and he found hump. So the only expert there during that time was Wallace, and he detected hump.
Yeah,
So
the three poles.
Propaganda.
One was clearly higher than the other, so we got a hump. Very simple. In their brain, that's how it works.
So
Obviously,
Rowbotham
we
was.
know that's ridiculous.
So the reader could conclude that Rowbotham was amateur and Wallace was professionalist. So, and he found hump, therefore we have hump.
Well, somebody is very daring, very outgoing, named Rumpus. He's looking for a drop.
You
I don't know
guys
how
see
he's going to
that?
square.
Can you see the
This picture? Yes.
Yeah. Right now, this is us setting up that post there, and the table that's in front. That's 8 inches above, as you can see, Bedford Canal. So that is the thing, and then this is the camera being placed on it.
Nice.
So you see there's one marker here on the right, start marker. So that's where this camera was placed. And this is us trying to set it up. Yeah.
Look at that.
Nicely
Nicely done.
Guy in a dinghy. But I mean, it takes us a bit to get it set up with, so we needed to hold that. Okay, so you can see there. Oh. Already, you can see what you can see and what you can't see off in the distance. Obviously, you can't see the gates of the lock in the distance.
Not even close.
Whether I can just. Oh. Oh, let me sort that back out. It turned into a cat, didn't it?
But even from mirror, you can see that the surface has to be flat because otherwise it would not create mirror in the surface of the water. You cannot create mirror when it is not leveled or flat, at least. It has to be flat surface of the water to produce mirror effect. Without it, you cannot have mirroring.
Yeah, well, you can see the like this. What looks like a big ripple in the water, it's not. That's like the limit of where you can see where it turns into a mirror and moving along.
Yes, because it is because the angle is too narrow and therefore it creates mirror. So this is very well known effect. So this is not unusual, and but it proves, at least for me, that the water surface has to be not curved because you cannot produce any mirroring effect on curved surface because you wouldn't you could not see it at
Yeah,
all.
well, it's water level. Like the whole point, as we were sat there in the dinghy, and he's taking these pictures, I'm thinking to myself, what are they doing? Because we're going there because my lad's just got this camera. I'm like, where do you test it? This is the first time he's probably been out with it, really. And we're trying to sort it on the thing. All of these pictures here are my lad learning to use the thing. But as he's doing that, I'm thinking, it's water level. What are they meant to be doing? Look at the boat as well there, Essie. More weight at the back end.
Yeah, yeah. That's what we were saying yesterday. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But yeah,
are you not showing it in Discord, Bev?
Oh, is it? Can you guys not see that?
Not in Discord, no.
Oh, right. Sorry, guys. I must have.
We cannot see anything at the moment on Discord.
There you go. You should have let us know.
Yeah, put it back to where the boat. That's they got to see that.
So we can see, at least I can see the line where the mirror starts.
Mm-hmm.
So it is clear.
Yeah, yeah.
You see where the V is? You see where the V is on the boat?
Yes. This.
That's where it starts. Shout out Travis.
Right. Well, you can see here that this line of mirroring goes all the way along the bank, but it goes up there. So this mirroring line changes with the perspective because that mirroring line up there, where this is, isn't this mirroring line down here. It changes as this guy goes away, as you'll see.
Yes, but it indicates also that the thing that is mirrored, I would say that mirror itself is produced on the surface of the water. It means that the water is there. This is not mirage or whatever, or sky or whatever. It is water because the light has to bounce from something.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Be careful of that.
Yeah, I wouldn't say about water bouncing like that. That water surface disappears. that you can literally see the little tiny ripples. The rest of it, I don't think is water. I mean, I know you are looking at water, but this mirror in here isn't in the water.
It has to be for me,
Yeah.
at least. Where else should it be?
I don't know. The mirror is the mirror, isn't it? Like where does the image come from inside the mirror? It comes from the opposite of the person, doesn't it? Difficult to say. But as this guy goes away, you can see what's happening.
Yeah, the mirroring could happen in the Atmos as well.
See, the mirroring line is moving up as he's moving away. And the boat and everything is disappearing into that mirroring line.
Yes, but I think that it's still the bottom part of this mirror, real mirror, is in the water, because this line below, which appears to be a horizon or whatever, it is not horizon. I think this is the limit of resolution, and the angle behind this point is so narrow that it creates a perfect mirror, because you need some flatness to have mirror effect.
Yeah, but you've got to admit at this point here, you've got to struggle with that being the mirror, where that line is being the water. Because where's the boat gone?
It's still in the water, but at that point, this line of apparent horizon, it is the water, which is seen to be as a water yet, but farther away, you can see only flat, so to speak, plane of water. You cannot distinguish anything.
It's not up here though, is it? Like if you have this mirroring part here as the water below that, then there's no boat. I'd say the mirroring part, it does away from it's crazy to me for to try and put anything resembling what you normalize as reality with this. This is just optical.
Yes, this is happening in the Atmos.
I would not say that this is in the air. That it is above surface of the air, of the water.
The mirroring.
That's what I just said.
Yeah, the mirroring has to be.
I said in the Atmos, not in the water, like that you were saying.
Yes,
this part here.
I would disagree. I cannot say that the mirroring can occur in the air.
That's what I thought. But I've seen a lot of these. I know what you're referring to, a nice, calm, clear picture where you see, like, they show a lake and you see the houses and the mountain, but this is not that. This is not what you're seeing here, Paper. At least I don't think so.
You know, in that image, you can see that this part of water, for me, this is part of water which reflects not only this person on the boat, but also it reflects everything. So it reflects the sky. So you cannot see clearly where the line of real horizon is, because it reflects everything. As you can see, it reflects.
So where's the boat? Where's the boat then?
This boat, you can see this part above the mirror line and part of the below.
Yeah, so as he moves away vertically, the mirroring line moves up with him, which
Yes,
makes more and more of him disappear as he moves away. But he's
Yes, but
still not under the water. He's still on top of the water. The mirroring line just moves up.
Yes, because you can see the mirror line also on the banks of the canal. So this is fixed point. It doesn't change. This mirroring point or line in the banks of the canal. It is fixed. So he's closing, going up as normally on the surface of the earth, up to horizon, real
He's
horizon.
not. He's
I
on
think that-
water.
yes, he's on water, and this water is rising in optics only to horizon line, to real horizon, which cannot be seen very clearly because this is the part of water which is reflecting everything and sky.
We
Except
can
the
see
boat.
where the reflection line is. I mean, like, rather than getting into speculation of what you think is happening, like, all we can go with is what we can see. I'm not too keen on people saying what they speculate of what their opinion is.
No, I can only say what I can see. So I can see where reflection starts, where this guy is reflected with a part of this person or whatever is reflected. So because you can see this same thing upside down. So I can only see that.
So that's the guy. That's his head. So that mirroring line keeps going up and up and up until all you can see is his head. Mirrored until it disappears.
Yeah, this is definitely not mirroring off the water.
Well, that's
This is
what
the
happens.
Atmos. Sorry?
Yeah, that's what happens. He just goes. It gets harder and harder to see him, and he goes away, and the mirroring line just moves up further and further.
And then poof, gone.
Of course, it has to disappear at some point.
But it disappears up. See, there's that mirroring line in the distance, and when he gets into that far enough, then he just disappears.
Yes, but it matches what I can see in the banks of river. Of course, this picture is blurry, but I can see more or less where the line of horizon is. This light sides of banks of the canal.
So what do you reckon about Rowbotham now then?
What can I say about Rowbotham? What he could see?
Yeah.
I think I don't know what this distance is here.
That's the same. That's the very same canal. Exactly the same canal. 8 inches above the water. Exactly the same.
So he could see maybe something similar to it.
It was claimed he could see the boat all the way.
No
At
chance
least
in
what
hell.
Rowbotham said.
No chance in hell after seeing
I cannot argue against or for because I cannot say what conditions of weather were at this time.
But you can you can now say that you have seen footage from 8 inches above Bedford where the guy in the boat disappeared about 3 miles away. Half the distance that Rowbotham was supposedly seeing the guy.
That says a hell of a lot. Actually, somebody was there and saw it and filmed it just like they did. No speculation.
And by the way, it's worth stating as well. The distance that guy is away from you, even at the beginning, is further than what you should have been able to see anyway, given the model of Earth curve calculation. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, of course. This was Samuel's Rowbotham assumption in this curvature. What was written even in Wikipedia. If the Earth was a globe, it should drop at this and this rate. So we could not see this guy
At
at that
18
distance at all.
at all, right? At 18 inches above the surface, then
8 inches.
sorry, 8 inches above the surface, you're not seeing more than 1.2 miles.
He should drop, not behind. He should drop down to the horizon and disappear at roughly 1 mile and 2.2 or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No more.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, he's not gone up, has he? There's the water in front of us.
So absolutely not.
The only
Right.
thing that has gone up in those pictures
Is the mirroring line.
line. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you can see in the distance, the mirroring on the bank, that stays exactly the same. The guy in the boat just goes towards that mirroring line, and as he hits more and more of it, he just more and more of him disappears.
Where that V is, that's where the split happens. Just look for a V.
We just look for a mirror. In the middle, there's
same thing.
Yeah.
Same thing, yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
my reference point is of this light bank, because I can see more or less where the mirroring point is at the bank.
yeah. Well, see, to me, Paper, when I first saw this footage, to me it was like, well, that can't be a reflection in the water. Because in order for you to see a reflection in the water, there has to be the guy and then the water for the mirroring to occur. His head, water, mirroring. So to me, that was like, that can't be what's happening. There's no way that is mirroring, the mirroring bit coming off the water. Because he'd need to be all the way over and have that mirroring bit mirroring it. And that's
you can test. Well, I was just gonna say you could test that as well by doing the same thing on land. And there's lots of videos of that mirroring effect happening and seeing somebody that's walking away from the camera lens floating in midair. Obviously, they're not floating; their feet are on the ground.
Yes.
So how are you getting a mirror? How are you getting a mirroring with no water?
Yeah.
But you can still see that mirroring effect and the line.
Yeah, we've got a couple of roads near us that are like near a mile long and they're pretty straight. And at the at one end of it, there's like a little drop down. So you can stand a little bit further away and get your eye level near enough on the, on the line of it. When you're driving in a car, you can see it. So I think we're going to get the camera on that and see what happens when we walk in and out of it with a measuring rod.
These are the tests that can be done right now that I'm thinking about it. My wife's family is from Utah and they have the salt flats there. So maybe that'll be something we do next time we go out and visit family in Utah. Just go out under the salt flats and and do that. See what it looks like.
Yeah, I guess the only way of
Look at
doing
that
this
blur.
is to do it more. But as far as I know, we're the only ones with this footage. Literally the only ones with it. Nobody's bothered asking us for it either. Even the guys that we went there to go and do it with. Which is very strange. Anybody know of any footage of Rowbotham 8 inches above the Bedford Canal? Nobody's bothered about it. Strange, isn't it?
Yep.
Is there a modern day picture from one end to the other? Does it exist? Or any picture besides this blur? Look at this. It looks like one of those abstract paintings where you say people actually paid money for this mirror. Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Yeah, it does get hard to see. I mean, it is only a crappy P1000. Thank you, Nikon. We've got 2 of them. They're very good cameras. Very, very good cameras. And it gave us this footage. I mean, I don't know if there is any other footage. Have a look. Ask around. See if anybody else has got the footage.
You know, you always reach the limit of resolution. It is inevitable. So if someone thinks that he can focus or zoom indefinitely, he is wrong, because he always will hit end of resolution of the camera, whatever this resolution is.
Get some more of these pictures up. Ooh.
So imagine the set experiment now. Imagine a flag there in the middle, 3 miles away. And they're saying that, oh, he can tell the difference between that flag and the other flag, like, who knows, 5, 6 miles away? Yeah, right.
I don't argue with that, but this footage clearly shows that the Earth cannot. This footage alone shows that the water cannot be curved downward from this vantage point. Cannot be. It is impossible.
Yeah, this is in the evening. We tried it again. And it's...
This guy should be down below the horizon at 1 mile, 0.2 at best.
But that's the thing about, I think that's the point here, right? About optics. Optics suck for proof, because just observationally, if I have a model in mind, I can look at the image that Bev is showing right this second and go, well, that looks like the water is falling over the edge of the horizon, showing the end of the water right there.
This leading edge here of the water.
Mm-hmm.
Well, all of this is water back here, but it's just mirroring.
Yeah, you know, right.
Yes.
It just disappears. This edge here, gone. All of this behind it, gone. It doesn't mean it's water. It's just
I think it's water,
gone.
But this is water behind this apparent horizon. Is water, but this is
obviously
mirror.
Is, but I mean, you could see, like Kevin was saying, this will happen on a road.
Yeah,
exactly the same thing. It's not that it's water. It's only because you can say this is the limit, right? Of whatever this is. This just happens to be water.
Right. And when one tries to use these optical observations as proof of something, is the problem, right? Because again, if I have a model, I could claim that, well, where you see that water meeting something that doesn't look like water, that's where the water stops. I could make that claim because that's what it appears to me to look like observationally. Now, Bev would know different, and his son would know different because he was there and he knows the water extends beyond that point because it's a Bedford level. But I don't know. Just looking at this, I could claim that it's almost like where I grew up. And SE will know this, right? Niagara Falls. If you're on Lake Niagara on the American side and you look down the water, it's going to look just like that before the water goes over the falls.
That's why I recognize only from this line where I can see mirroring, because
Yeah.
I can see upside down things. Yes, this tree or whatever, or this pods. Yes, I can see where they are starting to mirror.
I'm betting that if you took a similar picture on dry land, you'd see the same thing.
You could see.
You'd see the same mirroring.
Of course, and I have seen on the road where when road is really has good flat surface, smooth surface. You can see that. Not even at 3 miles or 2 miles. You can see that at closer distance. Even.
Yeah. I think the
What I was
moral.
trying to tell you.
Yeah, the moral.
It's not the
Yeah.
water.
Right.
Sorry.
No, go ahead. Finish up.
No, I was just saying that's our whole point. That's what I'm saying here. That it's not the water that's doing it. It's the atmos. Just like on the street, right? You're not going to say that it's mirroring off the road, right?
I would
I
say that
think it's more
this
the
is
angle.
mirroring of the road.
Yeah, it's just
Because-
it's just the limited angle that you're looking at it.
Yeah.
Aren't it? Just
Right.
eventually it compresses into something like, now the amount that it does that depends on temperature and where it is, especially over here. It's over water. That makes it a lot worse, but it does happen on roads too. So,
But
go on.
no, I was just going to say the key to me is, and I think the moral of this is something that Rumpus is going to end up seeing, something similar. And he's going to use whatever he sees as a, quote, proof. Optically, this shit. Everybody be prepared for that, because that's the model will dictate that he must be able to look at something like this. It'll look similar to this, and he will claim, proof. There you go. There you have it.
Well, Rumpus's problem is that his crosshairs are where the device is. Now, obviously, you can see stuff in the distance goes both ways, but the downwards slope is more prominent than the upwards if you look on the right hand side. So that downwards, if you put a line from here, from that blue thing in the top right hand corner all the way across, it'll be higher than that tree.
Right.
So if you have a crosshair that's there, it'll be higher than the tree, even though that thing's only about 3 foot above the surface of the water at this end. That tree's about 100 foot tall. It's huge. It's a massive tree, that.
So that's the hump. That's why you were saying it'd be easier for Rumpus to go for the hump.
Yeah, Rumpus hasn't realised how far he's actually got to put his flag, but yeah, you can definitely see that trying to do anything optical in the distance is it's a no-no, really. I mean, it's no wonder that Rowbotham Rowbotham had just done his stuff. He'd been to Bedford. He just took a few pictures, done his thing. Some other dude decided to make a bet about something, and they wanted him to go and have a look at some boats are going over the edge or whatever. I mean, who knows?
A dude that was a surveyor and knew what to expect to see optically.
Went for looking for the hump in the water because he knew physics. Yeah. I mean, obviously, people who know physics know that water humps at Absolutely. A midpoint between you and it. Like, how long? 2 miles, 1 mile? Where's the hump? Is the hump in the middle of a 2 mile stretch of canal? Or is the
Sure.
hump in the middle of the 6 mile stretch of canal?
Oh, it's
Like,
always there. The hump is
where are you
always
going to put the
there.
hump? In the middle?
Problem is you cannot put any hump here and any drop here.
No.
According to this picture, you cannot. Whatever you think it is, you cannot put any hump here or any drop. Nothing. You cannot do that with that picture. We can see at the screen.
Yeah, you can't put a measuring rod anywhere in that. There's no bottom bit to see. It's all mirror. And it's water as well. You should know that the water doesn't drop. And vice versa. It doesn't hump. If
it was hump, you cannot see because hump is covering your vision. And if it's drop, you cannot see this mirror because you would not see this mirror because it would be also at the wrong angle to you. So it could not reflect to you because it would be on the slope. So you cannot see something mirroring in the slope away from you.
Well, you couldn't have water dropping away from you anyway. That's ridiculous, isn't it?
Yes, but this is just visual proof, so to speak, proof that it could be not possible.
Imagine having a model that says you need both of those.
Yeah. That's slightly contradictory, isn't it? Like you have to have both contradictory things to hold both of them at the same time. And they say, yeah, all right.
Dialetheism, anyone? It's astonishing what they have to look at that. That's a good shot right there, man.
The bank all the way down the side. You can just walk all the way down that bank. Oh. I mean, this was the first time we went down there, and I keep looking to see whether you can see any of the gates or anything down at the bottom end. I mean, that
Rumpus, if I were
tree's on the
you,
right should be about here somewhere.
yeah. If I was Rumpus after seeing this, I'd call it off.
He already has, I think. I don't think he's going to do it. Definitely not this year. I don't think he'll ever be able to do it.
Well, he has a few more weeks until he starts making excuses. I'll give him a few more weeks. It's got August.
We'll
Maybe a couple of weeks in
disappears.
September. And then...
Oh. Just his head. See, that's a bird on the water.
Yes, and he is causing reflection also at his position.
Just his
course.
head. Yeah.
And this bird, yes,
No,
coming together, and he as he was he flied away. You could see that distinction that the mirror and the bird are going up and down respectively. I would see that it has to be water.
Yeah, it's a bit jittery, this footage. I'd like to keep it as a footage. There's some weird stuff going on over here on this side. So yeah, I mean, like it looks strange, doesn't it? That everything after this leading edge here disappears, even though it's still there.
It looks like a $10 million painting.
Some of it does actually, doesn't it? It looks.
You know, when they smudge everything together and they say, "Oh, look at that! Oh, yeah! Oh, look at those lines!" They start commenting on it.
Yeah. Look
It's
how
a
well he
smudged tree,
blended the
dude.
colours together. It's such lovely
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
pastels. Yeah, so this is the sort of stuff that Rumpus. Well, I mean, this is 8 inches above the water. Rumpus is going for the 4 foot or 4 meters. The height on the bridge, actually, that is.
Will he even be able to spot it?
Oh, Rumpus will know. He's doing some videos soon, I heard. Making videos and doing some live present. Aren't you going for a chat with Rumpus? About his, it is about his test, isn't it? And the hump and the drop, I think.
Well, he
he's
keeps
gonna do.
inviting, but never seems to be happening. Yeah, I'll go over for a chat if he explains his test, sure. But I'm not so sure that's what he wants to do. He wants to convince me of something,
Yeah,
I think.
I think he wants to. You take him a picture of this and say, "Well, like, put where the down is, the drop, and point where the hump is in this picture, please."
Yeah.
Because if you follow that mirroring line all the way down the edge, I don't think you could find a drop. Especially
I
not
think
that
he's going to
much.
be in shock when he takes his first look through, P900 zoomed in like that. I think he's going to be in for a shock.
Oh, I don't think he's going for a P900. They're rubbish cameras. They're nowhere near good enough for Rumpus. Rumpus is going to have some much better photography equipment.
Let's see how it fares.
Anyway, so that's us done for today on the Bedford level. But tomorrow, I think, or sometime this week, we'll go over some of the footage that we've got when we went to do the Wallace from the bridge. Which I think will be what we're doing again next time we go. We'll be doing bridge footage, but hopefully we can get bridge to bridge. So one people on one bridge at one end, the other people on the other bridge at the other end, and we'll get high vis vests, measuring rods, and stuff like that, so we can see whether we can see each other. Like that lady. Might be able to get Emma to come. It could be Lady Von, but whatever. And get a big white sheet. And we'll see whether we can see each other.
I think Rumpus said he's going to be up high, right? He won't dare go low.
Yeah, on the actual bridge, which is
On the bridge he wants to
what
be.
Wallace did. And I have to keep saying as well, no amount of anything over the water will ever make the earth flat. It's a ridiculous fucking statement. You might be able to find out if level is horizontal, but you're never going to be able to make the Earth flat. Because there are elevation changes. And you do actually use a level to establish elevation changes. So you can't find out that level is horizontal and then say that that's the tool that you use to establish elevation changes, and then say that those elevation changes prove it's flat. That's ridiculous. It's what we call a stolen concept fallacy. I.e., you can't take a level that's used to measure elevation changes to say that there are no elevation changes and therefore it's flat. It's not. And there are a few people that seem to think you are autistic for saying that if there are elevation changes, it's not flat. Well, sorry. Gonna have to hold my hand up and say, if a flat earther thinks I'm autistic for saying that elevation changes prove it's not flat, then sorry, flat earther. Elevation changes prove it's not flat. Might be upsetting for you, but this is one of those moments. If you have a model and you get upset at some of the things we say, then sorry, don't get too upset. Oh, good Tim. Long time no see. The Optics King. Welcome. So, yeah, there's not much to go over other than I think the Flat Earth Society, as they say, is a setup for people. Big time. Everybody's been set up for something. Rowbotham had a disc. And there's too many contradictions. Too many contradictions all over the place. With any sort of model that you have, I think. That's why I think I'm safer off just not having a model. Then you can't get butter that somebody's attacking it. I don't get upset. And I know there are a few people that do. There's a few people that assume that we say things that we don't. And when I say we, I do mean we. There are quite a lot of people around here now that have, let's say, a geometric look upon things. And it's not me. I haven't made this geometric view of things. It's just a logical view. Followed through with geometry and the proofs. And there are, because we've been over in Blue Marble Science's channel where he says he wants to go and do science only, but I don't know, it's a little bit hard when you don't have a base to start off with. First principles. Ute says FE Society is ballers in academia trolling other ballers in academia. Doesn't have anything to do with flat Earth research. Well, flat Earth research is the Flat Earth Society. Getting people to do ridiculous things with no purpose. Probably set up by those same ballers. It's a strange place at the minute where people have to deny certain I'd say certain truths. Yeah, this is a little bit strange at the minute, the times that we're in. Like we said, the clip up did first, guy says there's two different definitions of horizontal. I've just had him come in here to tell us that it might need a check to find out whether horizontal is straight or not.
And at least maybe he could define his new horizontal, because the problem is that the opposition cannot define this new horizontal, because if they are trying to define horizontal as curve, they also have to add a point into it. And you cannot have a horizontal point because this is nonsense. So they didn't define this new horizontal line. That's their problem, but they cannot replace old horizontal line with a horizontal point, because it is nonsense. But if they are trying to replace horizontal line as straight line with curved line, they cannot go anywhere from that.
Yeah, like I said to him, you can't go around with mathematical X and Y and just start bending one of them because it doesn't fit your model. Because it's only because they want the horizon to bend. Because a surface, a sphere has a surface of constant curvature. And if there is no curvature, because if it's horizontal, then there is no curvature to a straight line, then that pretty simply destroys the model right there and then.
Yes, and we can see that if they are trying to curve level, and in the diagram they have to straighten it up back, they have to curve, for example, these profiles on LIGO. So they are going from one contradiction to another. And we can have some more fun.
Well, say some more fun. It's getting embarrassing, I think. To me, there's not much way you can go against the horizontal, the horizon, the horizon, the totality of the horizons, the horizontal, the totality of the horizon. I don't see how you get rid of horizontal from the horizon.
You cannot. It's strictly linked. Horizon is straight, and horizontal is derived from horizon. Whatever Rumpus is saying, he is wrong. That This is not from horizon. This is nonsense. It is not true, by the way, because horizontal is an adjective from horizon, so it has to be.
Yeah, they're saying in the chat as well of the Earth curve calcs. Well, level doesn't curve, and all of those calculators all they are is the amount of curvature in level that is needed for them to be have a ball. That's the only thing it is. So, hey, if you think level curves and it curves at that amount that they tell you, it's very brave, because horizontal and level are the same thing.
They are established in the air, not on the surface of the earth. So it is in the air.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, straight line. See, this guy here, he's not a flat earther, but he's posting pictures that seem to support the flat earth. I mean, look, it's got a mountain on it. I mean, how ridiculous is that? He's put a picture there. Behold the flat earth. And it's got a picture of a fucking mountain. I mean, who thinks that's flat? Fucking ridiculous. That's why it looks stupid. That's why people look stupid. But some people say that's autistic to think that that is flat earth. If you look at this picture, to some people, if you look at this picture and don't see flat, then you might be autistic. That's right. George and some of the Globers keep telling us that. I don't know who it was that said that. Do you reckon? Who do you reckon diagnoses autism for people that don't see this as flat? Globers will tell you. One of their heroes.
Yeah, if that picture was part of any of the everybody's taking these bot tests, right? When you sign into a website or whatever,
Yeah.
prove that you're not a bot by answering the by selecting the pictures. Select the pictures that have show something flat.
Yeah.
and then you don't select it. It's like
you'll be forever not getting through. I always fail on this flat earth one.
I don't know why that happens all the time. You must be autistic. Why aren't you selecting that picture? Clearly it's flat, can't you see?
I can see that this mountain clearly seeks its own level, for sure. It's staying still and seeking own level.
Yeah, well, we were told by Blue Marble Science the other day, because we are in Blue Marble Science's thing. He did say that there would be an attack coming out. Well, he didn't say attack. He did say that we were going to find our times getting a lot harder, because I think the flat earth are after us. Gotta watch out. They're teaming up with the Blue Marble Science Globe Earth team. Oh, that's what Blue Marble said anyway. So, okay, guys, I'm sorry, but it's not flat. And you guys as well. I'm sorry, it's not a globe. And to everybody else, That's your false dichotomy. It's neither. And that's why we can just carry on talking about what is with no fear of a model. I don't have to choose a model. I can't choose a model. I'm all right. So, is anybody else want to come in and explain the model? Because, I mean, we did have a few people last week, but, I mean, it's obviously getting a little bit harder for people to come in and talk about the model. Just recently, we've got twin tangents that the model sort of tripped itself up over. Left the twin tangent laces undone. Tripped itself up, really hurt itself. FE Dogma, I know you're probably asleep, but if you're listening back to this at some point, pop round, let's have a chat about your twin tangents. Let's talk models. We do have, like I said, I've said to I can science that we do have a test that I would like to walk people through. We're calling it Realizing Euclid. And it is the no part of a straight line can lie within a plane and another part without it. Proposition 1, book 11. Check it out. We've got a sort of a really basic test to go along with that, just to give you the geometric idea of what level is, what a straight line is, how to reproduce a straight line to infinity. Gives you an idea about scale as well. How the scale of lines doesn't really matter. And basically we just like to have a few chats with people, but I'm gonna have to start giving a like a cog dis warning, because I think it's pretty dangerous times. If you have a model, then coming and talking to us is probably going to be a little bit tricky, because we know, like, we've talked to quite a few people. It gets tricky because you have to be able to justify a model that you know absolutely nothing about. And you may imagine that you do know quite a lot about it. I'm willing to bet there's areas of blind spots that most people have within this model that they're not even aware of. Mainly based around geometry and the misunderstanding that it's complicated. Don't think it's complicated. It's not. It's pretty easy. Most people have common sense that normally sorts it out, but I think we've found that there is a model that can override common sense. I think there's a model that can literally rip reasoning skills away from you. People need to be made aware that coming and talking to us about a model, especially if you really do hold that model, it can have pretty bad consequences. Realizing that how hard work it is to get logic back again once you've exploded that logic. I'm pretty sure that if you've gone far enough to explode that logical system that you have for understanding things and for reasoning, I don't think it can be pulled back again.
Absolutely. Just going back to what Paper was saying earlier about the conversation he was having, and I think Mike was having it, and Saragaki was having it in our live chat earlier today, and I think last week with a couple of people. Once you do something like include not parallel in with parallel, or parallel in with not parallel, or approximately parallel, once you do stuff like that, you're gone. Then words don't mean things anymore. When you could say approximately parallel includes parallel, you've lost it.
It's self-contradictory. So if
Yeah.
you have this contradiction in definition, it means that this definition is not definition, it's garbage.
Yeah. We can't talk to you anymore after that.
Yeah.
I mean, we will. Right? We will. We'll talk to you. It's fine. But it's like, what kind of meaningful conversation are you going to have?
Well,
When you
and
can,
it's going to need to be made aware that we will talk to you, but I mean, it's your mind that's at stake, not.
yeah,
I don't want to be responsible for that.
exactly. I mean, it's like, take it out of this realm, right? It's like you're looking at flowers, and you have a rose and a tulip and an orchid, and you look at the three of them and you go, well, you make the claim that well, a tulip is approximately like a rose. I mean, it's an approximate rose. I mean, it has the same basic shape as a rose. You know, it goes upwards. Certainly doesn't look like an orchid. So I make the claim that a tulip is is an approximate rose, but it also includes roses. Then you've just said tulips are roses. Okay, there you go. Have fun with that.
And even sticking to geometry, if you have, for example, polygon with 1,000 side.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have polygon with 999 sides, it is not the same polygon. You cannot describe it as this 1,000 side polygon.
Yes,
because it has one side less. It is not the same. This is not approximately 1,000 side polygon.
but have you entertained whether or not it's an approximate circle? That's the question.
Yes, of course.
Right?
Yes, yes. It is.
Because that's what they would say.
It is nearly circle. It mean it is circle.
Circle.
Yes.
Yeah, a circle is in the class of polygons that might be within two sides of 1,000. I mean, that's the kind of stuff that we're hearing now because of this explosive logic. It's exactly like that, Bev. You're
Yeah.
exactly right.
But what's causing it, right? It's the will for the model to survive against all reasoning, right? When you have to disassemble reasoning in order to end up with your conclusion, like you've started off wrong, right? You've started off with the conclusion, and you do whatever you can to fit the conclusion. That's not how things should be.
It's not at all. What did that chap Jesse that was in before we went live? Right? What did he had us living on a 11 meter frisbee or something?
11 kilometer.
11 kilometer frisbee.
Yeah.
A frisbee upside down. We haven't determined whether it was right side up or upside down.
Upside
He
down,
said
yeah.
sure. Yeah,
With
but
the
I think he
rim,
said
but you
sure
had to
when you
look.
said that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you were 3 to 4 meters above that 11 kilometer
Yeah.
frisbee.
Above it.
This is the stuff that they're saying.
Yeah.
Well, and then what did he say? Well, can't you imagine? What the fuck difference does that make? Whether I could imagine it or not. You're talking about something that does not exist in reality.
And then having to place yourself above it, like
On
Paper
it.
just said.
Yeah.
Like you're above it. It doesn't matter what it is. You are above it. It's not a tangent. It's nothing. It's just a straight line, a plane or whatever.
It's
Mainly
phenomenal.
optical as well. They always put you
Yeah.
there to look at something.
And that's proof or evidence,
Yeah.
whichever, depending on who you talk to, because there is no proof with a lot of these people. But that's, it's totally conclusive evidence to many of their model. It's incredible.
Yeah. People may say, well, you are moaning about it. Well, it is Model Affliction Monday. We are allowed to talk about models and stuff. But try and warn people that the model may be overtaking rational thought. And at that point, I mean, I don't know what happens. Which one wins at the time? And why does one model overtake rational thought? I get the feeling, mainly because it's me that they're talking to. So that may influence what they think. Their rational thought may be overtaken just because they're talking to me. Or Mobius, or Essie, or Rakia. Anybody that actually talks to anybody in this arena, they will be influenced by what we talk about, I think. And I don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. Hopefully, I hope, the people that are watching us are aware of this. Hopefully they see this and they don't think, oh, I'm going to have to prove Bev wrong. Or we're just talking about things. We're having a discussion about how the model ends up dictating things to certain people. And that's a bad thing. If the model takes it over, what you think, and the model influences the conversation more than anything, or the particular course of the conversation, I'd say that's not good. We've been trying to discuss about how to progress forward from this point on. It's pretty obvious. There is no debate. The conversation can progress, but that we need to get rid of a model. We need to get rid of trying to force a model into the conversation. Let's just talk about what we can do, and then we'll all come to the conclusion that everybody should come to on their own. Thanks, Kev. I like that. These conversations destroy the ability to discuss nonsense. Yeah, we were saying that earlier. These sort of conversations are what's needed within here in order to try and find a clarity. Try and have a based reasoning that we need to start from somewhere. And that somewhere, right, is a place where everyone can feel at ease. There's no battle going on. It's just a conversation. Where we can just talk about stuff without being a battle and trying to tell other people what they should do, what they shouldn't do. everybody's in this for whatever reason they're in it for. They come and try and work things out for themselves. Now, I don't want to push anything on anyone. I hope nobody else wants to push something on other people. I know a lot of people want to push a lot of things on to me, particularly. A lot of people want me to say certain things for some reason. And I'm pretty sure I'm not on my own. Other people get coerced within these conversations into saying things. Get pressured by a lot of people. We'll go and have a word with Blue later, hopefully.
Blue doesn't want to. Keeps timing us out. Keeps banning.
You've been timed out again.
Yeah.
Did I see earlier there somewhere he's give us our chance to post pictures back again?
Oh, that's news to me. If he did, that's good.
I've got the little button back. Have I? No, I haven't. It's got it on the phone. Yeah.
Blue is very sensitive these days.
Yeah. Bicker and bitch. Doofus has got... Yeah, he's sending loads of messages to me. If anybody wants to come and have a chat about any of the tests or anything that we do, all you've got to do is come in the Discord. We have been having a few people coming in. To be honest, though, I'm more concerned just recently with some of the disturbing things that I think I've heard.
Their model is very hard to support, and I think they're starting to see that now.
Oh, I see. I think a lot of them have already exploded that logical. Well, if they had anything there that was logical, the moment you explode it and sit and allow those contradictions,
and there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
Straight lines curving, plumb bobs not being parallel, horizontals not being all horizontal.
Horizontal being both straight and curved.
Yeah, it's another one.
And this is point, not line. This is a curved point.
Plumb bobs deviate at certain mountains.
Yeah, up is every direction, down is every direction.
Yep.
Yeah, there's too many, really. And I did ask the missus as well with the north, south, east, west one. That was a classic one, that. My lad said, oh, that'd depend on which model you've got. And I went, exactly. So I like the idea of that, being able to hold the ideas and be able to see them all from a different point of view. Because, everybody does have the models. And I'm guessing, if you've got a globe model, then you're always going to be questioning it. You have to question the model every time. If you have a model, you have to compare it to other things. It's half of the game with models. Always comparing it with other models. And since they're all in the mind, it's dead easy for these competing thoughts to come in. Especially if, you know, it's a model. It's not really reality. So you could always be comparing one model with another model and comparing both of those models to reality to see which one fits the best. You could have multiple different models and compare them all with each other and reality. If you can justify one model with reality, even though you end up putting a load of polyfiller on the cracks, you could end up with it, especially if you've got an idea of logic that formulates the conclusion first and then backtracks for something to fit it.
Yep, they say the craziest things. They have to. The model makes them do it. It's kind of like they've been assimilated by the Borg. And the queen speaks to them. No, you have to say level curves.
Have you seen the where's Hoymar got that from? Over at Blues. Have you seen what they're doing? They've got a crack team working. Do you want to see it? In the live chat, look at that. Does everyone want to see this? This is Hoymar. Different types of angles. You may be familiar with this one up here. This is the rectilinear angle, the old traditional Aristotelian angle, Euclidean angles. This one,
the one with the straight lines.
Yeah, the one that you measure. Let's call this one the mathematical angle. This one here, completely made up. Not an angle at all, but I mean, fancy name. And this one here, it's got 5 different angles for something that isn't even an angle. So that's probably why it's got 5. They couldn't.
My God, man.
And that's Hoymar. Hoymar's brought them that. So, I mean, it might be in a book.
Yep. They're definitely brainstorming over at Blue Ops.
Well, I like it. Definition, Euclid, book 1, definition 11. Do you reckon? Do you reckon he's just making that up? That comes after the definition 10, perpendicular. Should I have a look? Definition 11. Euclid, book 1, definition 11. Who's put the little hand on it? Who was that? Starkodder. I'll have a look. Euclid, book 1, definition 11 states An obtuse angle is that which is greater than a right angle. I think they might have a different book.
Maybe number 11 is beyond his ability to count.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe they got bored. He got bored and just started making up angles. It's like, we've not got enough here. What do you mean, just right angle? But that's what we're faced with.
Maybe it is approximately a right angle.
What ridiculous. I'm not even saying the words because words hold power. Stupid. But that's what if you want to learn about the globe, like I said, there is a place, Blue Marble Science Discord server. I would put the link out there for you, but he doesn't allow us to share his links. It's an exclusive place. We're honoured to be over there. We're not allowed to post any pictures or anything. Only they can post pictures. We have to just talk, and then sometimes even still that's not enough. You get muted. They're a very picky group, the Globe Understanding.
Imagine being afraid of a meme. Like, what does that tell you? And it's not like we're, posting like gratuitous stuff. No.
Ooh. Yeah. Well, I don't know where to go from here. If everybody's happy with that, can we shut it off for tonight? Our Model Affliction Monday. Nobody wants to come in and talk about their model. Obviously, it gets a bit tricky now because I think they know they've got no geometric proof of the model, and we obviously like talking about geometry and the proofs that are within it, and we're always willing to, if there's any globe geometers out there that would like to come and have a discussion about geometry, and we can work over a few proofs together. I've got proof that level is horizontal. Blue has a proof that it's not, apparently. Anybody wants to do it for Blue or come and have a chat with Blue, or Blue wants to go over there and work out what Blue's proof is. If Blue wants to share it, he might be keeping it for himself.
Doesn't have any proof. What proof does Blue have?
Let me see if I can find the clip. I'll see if I can find it.
First of all, according to them, there is no such thing as a proof. Which we found out at the beginning of this year.
Michikaku, that science doesn't prove anything. Science is not about proving things. So, it's just about telling fairy tales.
Yeah, bedtime stories, yeah.
At least they do say that. They do say that. Right, so here's a clip I'm just going to take. It's about a minute. this clip is well, listen. I
I'm
do
okay,
not
fine.
have a model
Well,
other
I
than
do.
saying level is horizontal.
I do, and my model says level is not horizontal.
Brilliant. I say I can prove that level is horizontal.
And I say I can prove it is not.
Brilliant.
It's
It's
every
sloping away the water.
Yeah.
No, the water level doesn't slope away.
Yeah.
Blue.
Yes, it does.
No,
yes, it does.
It's level. That's what level is.
But it does.
No slope.
That's right. That's exactly right.
We know
it
how
is
water
level. We
flows.
agree with that. It is level.
Yeah, water
it's
flows.
All the same.
Doesn't it?
Potential.
Down.
It's all at the same potential.
Water wouldn't slope
all
away.
All the elevations will be the same, but they're dropping away from that horizontal that is perpendicular to the surface normal at the point you put your auto level. That's just the way it is.
There you go. So blue marble science has the water dropping away. Some sort of a slope on the water level.
It's just the way it is.
It's just the way it is. Yeah. Model. His model dictates it. A lot of people do have that model. We'll keep it going for you, Kev, till you get back. And then we'll end it. So yeah, I've been going over a few little clips of stuff that we've found quite recently. Should be a bit easier to get some of these clips going and get them out there. Yeah, there are a few rather silly things. I've got well, we could probably do a tangent day on clips I've got of them with the tangent. Rumpus and his misunderstanding of tangents, geometry. By the way, if Rumpus is still around here, are you doing your test, Rumpus? Are you gonna get your? You said there was videos and live streams and stuff that we were going to be expecting shortly. I think you said. You said it first about 6 months ago, and then you said it about 5 months ago. And then you said you're going to be doing it shortly about 4 months ago. And then we waited a month, and then you said you'd be shortly doing it 3 months ago. 2 weeks ago, you said you were going to be doing it very shortly. And then a week ago, you said you would be doing it really close. And now we're here this week, and I've not heard anything yet. He did when he did that thing on Blues the other day. Rumpus said he was gonna do his test sometime this week. He said he was gonna do a chat with you, SE, and Mobius and Asken. Have any of you heard anything from Rumpus about when this thing is?
As of yet, myself, no, not yet.
Okay. Well, it must be soon, because Rumpus said it would be soon.
Yeah. And the clock's ticking.
Yeah. I mean, even so, we were hoping to go down there, but I think he's going to do a ranty. Talk all of the big Billy Bollock stuff and then not actually do anything. And George was meant to be coming down as well. I don't think George is preparing. He's not packed his suitcase or anything.
Well, George is still in the U.S. We were texting yesterday. I think so. He was in Blues chat, so I don't know.
Well, I could say I've got... Oh, yeah, that's what I've got. I've got a video, haven't I? Let me get that. I can put that on while I make a brew. It's and insane. Right, okay, let me this screen. This is oh, Buster doesn't mind. This is a recording I made of Buster the other day doing a live performance. You guys in the Discord can see it, hopefully.
I can see.
Yep.
Jolly good. So this is the footage of the sunset we got last night. And these things off here. Okay. And here we go.
Wish I could work in some more licks. Let's see if I can do this early in the morning. You never measure what's in the real world. All you show is your stupid cobalt. You never back your claim. Your world is full of illusions, contradiction between fact and fiction. I know you never back your claims. It's like driving the wrong way down a one-way street. And they pour your pride right in front of your feet. in the distance. Why do I get so much resistance? I know you'll never prove me wrong. All we get are physics deniers, pathologic compulsive lies. I know you'll never prove me wrong. It's like driving the wrong way down a one-way street. An aporeal path right in front of your feet. Paradoxes and confusion. Your mind is in delusion. We all know you're insane. We all know you're insane. You try to explain your toothpick tangents. I can see why everybody's so frantic. I know you'll never back your planes. It's like driving the wrong way down a one-way street. An aporeal path right in front of your feet. Paradoxes and confusion. Your mind is in delusion. Oh, we all know you're insane. We all know you're insane. We all know you're insane.
Damn.
That's good, right?
Oh yeah. Shout out Buster.
Yeah. Thank you very much. That was recorded probably over the weekend, Buster singing, and that footage of the sunset was recorded last night. Yeah, we did it live actually. We were out there in the Discord talking to everybody while we were filming that from Southport Beach. There's some other footage of a boat and
That's good.
some infrared footage as well to come, but there's no need to rush it. I can do one a day. Yeah, I quite like that. We do quite a few of those sunsets.
The ballers are gonna like that boat. I'm sure.
Well, I mean, they're going to have whatever they have out of it because they've got a model that dictates whatever, the outcome's going to be. And people will have whatever they decide as their model because that's what's in their mind. The model dictates. It's very true because it's a personal model. Everybody has their own. I think the model is the model you build to get rid of those contradictions. You make that model. Everybody makes their own model to whatever extent.
Having model is not bad, but it is bad if if this model is going against logic. So therefore it is bad, definitely.
Yeah. It's bad for the mental state, right? If you have something that you see in reality, but your model tells you that cannot be true, that there is a contradictory statement, then it's bad for that reason. You don't want to have a model contradicting reality, and to try and formulate that thought or whatever and get it to equalize out. You can't get the mathematical sum to work out.
Yes, this model is leading you to cognitive dissonance. So it is bad, even for psychological reasons.
Oh. Right, so, well, it's 11 o'clock. I mean, does anybody else have anything? Like, I don't want to go overboard and start bashing a model. It's pretty obvious nobody wants to come and talk about the model. And I don't want to overdo it with anybody. But like I say, the place where it all happens and all of the conversations that actually mean things, they do happen in the Discord. This is a live show that we do every night, weekday. As such, not many people want to talk about stuff, and most people feel that they might be intimidated on the live stuff. That's fair enough. Come into the Discord if you've got any questions or anything. Just come in there. It's a lot easier to talk to people, and the conversations that we have in Discord are obviously much more meaningful. I don't know, much more personal conversations that we can have. We can go into deeper stuff without anybody can ask questions without feeling intimidated or anything. So yeah, come into the Discord. That's where it's all about. Things are changing a bit with what we're going to be doing. I'm hoping to sort out some shorter videos, and if we do start working into that sort of thing, the Discord channel that'll never change. We'll always be in here day in, day out doing what we do, but I might have to tone down on the live shows of the night time. Depends on how it goes. We'll have to see. But yeah, we're moving into different areas, different conversations, hopefully, different things. Anybody got any? Tomorrow is Logic Day. I'm thinking that we should start back on the original idea of what we had for Logic, coming up with the statements, because I want to make some more videos. So I want to get a few really basic logic statements to come back that we can hopefully get people to understand how simple logic is, and just get going over the simple logical statements are a key, I think. So yeah, that's what I'm planning on going over tomorrow. See whether we can start a conversation based around logic and see how we can push that through. Join us tomorrow for the logic. Anybody got any final words for tonight? No. Okay. Buster. Oh, we're going to have model affliction again, aren't we? Okie dokie. Model affliction blues, Buster. Join us tomorrow. Logic Night.
Okay. Is it a hump or a drop? What do you say? You've got to twist your words in every which way, because the model will always dictate what you do. Everybody knows that you've got the model affliction blues. Is it a straight line, or does it curve? Some people don't clamp it, but that is absurd. We all know that the model dictates what you do. And everybody knows that you've got the model affliction blues. Model affliction, it's your addiction. Model affliction, it brings you so much pain. It's your ball and chain. Conflating curvature with elevation change. Just got your local distance just out of range. That oblique is gonna dictate everything that you do. And everybody knows that you've got the model affliction blues. Model affliction, it's your addiction. Model affliction, it brings you so much pain, and it's your ball and chain. It's your decision defending the model position. You just don't know the geometric proposition. That old ball will always be illogical to you. That's why perpendicularity is a puzzle to you. Model affliction, it's your addiction. That old model affliction, it brings you so much pain. It's your ball and chain. And everybody knows that you've got the model affliction blues.
Works really good with this guitar.
Is it a hump or a drop? What do you say? You got to twist your words in every which way. We all know that the model dictates what you do. Well, we know you got it, the model affliction. Model affliction, model affliction, affliction. Well, we know you got it, the model affliction blues.